Wow. The entire crypto market is looking really, really good this morning. We're seeing everything across the board, whether we're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Binance coin, everything is up significantly this morning. And we've crossed a couple of key support, a couple of key resistance levels, and things are looking pretty good. We're going to go over a couple things going on with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's price. Look at the charts. After that, we're going to talk about big announcements with Ethereum coming up from their new upgrades, the London hard fork, everything going on with that. Also, a major announcement from Morgan Stanley that is actually pretty surprising with regards to Bitcoin, which shows the trend of changing how institutions feel about Bitcoin. And even if they don't like it, well, they're definitely starting to get in. After that, we're going to talk about a couple of altcoins, specifically like Cardano and a couple of others. And at the end, we're going to go over a big announcement with regards to crypto ETFs and stuff like that. So if you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Let's see if we can get this up to 500 likes today. We got a good start already, but I hope you guys are having a great morning, and let's get right into it. Right now, Bitcoin's price is above $35,000 per coin for the first time in a while, and we are pretty far above it. We're at $35,810 per coin, and if we look at the charts, we are approaching a key level right now. So this is the 100-day moving average chart right here, this line, and we are just passing it right now. So if we can hold above it, this could be signaling that we are breaking out and going to be breaking out towards that $40,000 per coin range, and potentially even reach new all-time highs very soon, because we can see this is a key line right here, a key indicator, the 100-day moving average, and this is the first time we are looking to pass it. We did pass it back on June 13th, June 14th, but we didn't sustain the break above it. We were above it for a couple of days, but we'll have to see what happens here. Either way, the 4-hour chart, we're looking at the 100-day moving average. We are right at that level. We are passing it as we speak, above $35,000 per coin and crossing it. The next resistance would be at about $40,000 per coin. We have seen it touch that number a couple of times. If we look at it right here, basically this line right here. So if we could break above that, well, then we'd be off to new all-time highs, hopefully by the end of this year. Either way, though, things are looking pretty good for Bitcoin. When we're talking about Ethereum, same thing, same story. Ethereum's up 7.75% this morning, and we're at $2,172 per coin. This is exciting because Ethereum had not been doing too well lately. We had seen it holding, struggling to break above $2,000 per coin. We had seen it not been able to do that, but finally we have broken above $2,000 per coin, and we are well above that. We're at $2,173 per coin, up 20% over the last week, and really all coins. Dogecoin up a massive 52% over the last week. XRP up 32%, and one of our favorites, Cardano, up 31%. So right now, Bitcoin's chart, that's what's going on with a couple of key indicators, the 100-day moving average with the 4-hour chart, and how we're just passing it as we speak. Hopefully we can sustain the break above it, and if we can, well, then we'll have the only resistance we would have is $40,000 per coin before we would reach new all-time highs later this year. But big announcement with Bitcoin and institutions came out, and this is something that is very exciting, something that shows that big money players are taking Bitcoin seriously. They're really starting to get involved, and this isn't going to change anytime soon. So the first big announcement is with Morgan Stanley. So Morgan Stanley yesterday bought over 28,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and this is really important. So Morgan Stanley was the first US bank to offer wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. A lot of major banks have not had any exposure to Bitcoin. They don't do any cryptocurrency trading. They don't invest directly in Bitcoin. They don't invest in Bitcoin funds. That started to change, and back on March 17th, Morgan Stanley became the first ever institution to allow wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. Now we're seeing that they just bought over 28,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is very, very exciting. You guys all know the key number that I like to talk about with Bitcoin is how 6% of all people in the US own Bitcoin. Bitcoin, and very few institutions own it. Major institutions that own it are like MicroStrategy, Ark Invest owns GBTC, Tesla, and Square. Other than that, we don't see too many institutions own a lot of Bitcoin. And because of that, well, you know, it's just a matter of time before we see that 6% number for retail investors go up to 50%. And when we see 50% of all retail investors have money, well, that's going to be when we really start to see Bitcoin's price take off. And we're starting to see institutions get more and more involved every single day. And the thing that I like to always look at with this, time and time again, whenever you see an institution get involved in any sort of asset class, whether it's going to be crypto, whether it's with a new stock, like just any new asset class, no bank is going to want to miss out. They're going to make sure they get involved with it. And what we're seeing is that they are finally starting to get involved with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. People are wondering what Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is. Well, essentially, it is a way for institutions to easily invest in Bitcoin without actually owning the underlying Bitcoin. It doesn't follow exactly Bitcoin's price, but it does mimic its movements, and they do own Bitcoin behind it. So here, we'll pull up right here, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Right now, the price for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is currently sitting at $29.25 per share. And you got to just remember, it does mimic the price of Bitcoin. And whenever Bitcoin's price is going up, this goes up. When Bitcoin's price goes down, it goes down as well. So right now, we are up for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust 4.5% after hours. That's because Bitcoin is up, you know, as well. Either way, though, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is something that we like to see institutions getting involved in, because a lot of them, for regulation issues, they don't invest directly in Bitcoin. And according to these funds from Morgan Stanley, they said that, look, each fund can invest up to 25% of assets in Bitcoin, and a lot of these are based in Europe. So Europe Opportunity Fund can invest in it. They have a couple of others called like the Institutional Fund Trust, Insight Fund, and Variable Insurance Fund. All of these can now invest in Bitcoin and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And this is just a way for institutions to get exposure to Bitcoin. And it's exciting to see, because Morgan Stanley is buying 28,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This is showing that looks like institutions are starting to tip the scale, starting to get involved with Bitcoin. And it's just going to open the floodgates. Once we see this happen, it's going to open the floodgates that we start to see institutions get directly invested in Bitcoin. Something I always like to look at, because very few institutions are involved, and this could be the opening of the floodgates to start to see, you know, all institutions pour hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into Bitcoin. We're still not going to see, you know, companies like Procter and Gamble or Johnson & Johnson or Coca-Cola invest in it just yet. That'll probably be when we see a Bitcoin or Ethereum ETF approved. But right now we are seeing that some banks like Morgan Stanley are starting to get involved. That can mean maybe we'll see Goldman Sachs and potentially BlackRock and Blackstone start to get involved very soon as well. Very exciting stuff. This is the positive news that we do have this morning. But speaking of Bitcoin and Ethereum and, you know, the suits changing their mind, we saw Jim Cramer come out yesterday and say, look, I bought back into Ethereum. I bought back into Ethereum instead of Bitcoin because of a couple of key reasons. His first reason was that Bitcoin's price had stabilized. It had stabilized at $30,000. He was worried about all the FUD going on in China, that there would be a big crash. But really what happened in China was just a small, you know, market correction. It was like an instant crash where we saw a lot of FUD, a lot of fear in the market. But after that initial fear, it all dissipated and the market bounced back very quickly. We saw Bitcoin's price, you know, drop right down to $29,000 per coin on June 22nd. But quickly after that, we rebounded. And now, like we said, we are just about passing this 100-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. So he said for that reason, because we had a pretty strong support at $30,000. That's why he bought back into Ethereum. But I think he's actually missing out on a couple of key things. So he said, first of all, It's interesting to see Jim Cramer, what he has to say, because he had sold all of his Ethereum. He had sold half of his Ethereum back in May. He said to put down towards an all-electric Hummer. Then on June 21st, he said he sold almost all of his Bitcoin because of the fear in China. And now he's saying he bought back into Ethereum. And it's interesting because his main reasons were, one, that Bitcoin's price was stabilizing between 30,000 and 35,000. He says that was one of the reasons. But I think that's like a terrible reason. I think, you know what, if you're in Bitcoin, you're in Ethereum, you're in it for the long term. But he said, look, the reason he likes Ethereum better than Bitcoin is because people actually are able to buy things with Ethereum. Ethereum has way more use cases. He said, I think it's just got a little more game because when you go buy an NFT or anything like that, everybody wants it in Ethereum. It's more of a currency. And it's not that everybody wants Ethereum for NFTs. It's that, it's not that everyone wants to pay an Ethereum or Bitcoin for an NFT. It's that Ethereum is a decentralized, like a DeFi coin, just like Cardano. And there's all the use cases built directly on top of Ethereum. So you have smart contracts, you have NFTs, you have all these DeFi applications, which are directly built on Ethereum's network. So for example, the Bank of Israel tested the other day, and I've talked about this story like so many times, but I like it. I like this story a lot. And the Bank of Israel the other day, they tested Ethereum in a pilot program, and they tested specific use cases of it where they were able to successfully test its ability to program the title of a car as an NFT and then transfer it to someone else using a smart contract. So they tested all the use cases of Ethereum directly with one thing. It says when you pay this person a certain amount, it's automatically going to send them the car title. No intermediary and no risks. It's just instantaneous. And so when Jim Cramer talks about getting into Ethereum because Bitcoin's price stabilized, I think that's really a bad reason. I think what he says about that Ethereum has a little more game, it has NFTs, like yes, at the surface level, that's fine, but there's so much more to Ethereum than just NFTs. And there's so much more to Ethereum than just the fact that Bitcoin's price is holding at 30,000. Ethereum has smart contracts, NFTs, DeFi applications. It's not trying to be just something to buy goods and buy NFTs with. It's trying to replace the whole entire financial system. So, I mean, I think it's interesting that he bought Ethereum back instead of Bitcoin, but I think some of the reasonings behind it could be, you know, a little bit better. So I wanted to point all of that out. Next up with Ethereum, we are crossing a key resistance the other day. We just crossed $2,000 per coin for Ethereum, and this is major because right now Ethereum had been struggling to break through $2,000 per coin ever since all of that FUD came out with China. We had seen it really just struggling to break through that. And now the important thing is that we are finally seeing a rally with Ethereum, that we have officially crossed $2,000 per coin, which was a bit of a resistance that we had formed here, and now we started to break out above it. Now we're going to probably trade between that $2,800 per coin range before we could start to push up higher to new all-time highs. Either way, though, what we are seeing is that we are at a key level again for not only Bitcoin but for the entire crypto market, because if we could see Bitcoin's price break above that 100-day moving average, and same with Ethereum, this is the 100-day moving average for the 4-hour chart. If we could see it break above and sustain the break above, because we broke above it here on June 14th, but if we could see a sustained break above, this could indicate that we're getting out of this short-term bearish trend that we've been in, and it could mean that we are pushing up higher to new all-time highs, because right now this is the key level, the 100-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. On Bitcoin, so this is for Ethereum, we're breaking through it. On Bitcoin, same thing, breaking above it. And this is just a great sign for the entire crypto market that we could be entering another bull market. It's great sign moving forward. In addition to this, we have a lot to look forward to with Ethereum over the next couple of weeks and next couple of days. And the big thing is this London hard fork, which is going to take place in July of this year, so just within the next couple of days. Very exciting because there's going to be a couple of major upgrades for Ethereum, which I think could push a lot of institutions, a lot of retail investors into getting more into Ethereum than into Bitcoin, especially if we start to see the crypto rally, the crypto market start to rally upwards. And these upgrades are going to do a couple of big things. The first is that it's going to make it more energy efficient, more eco-friendly, and more just efficient in general. So there's 5 different upgrades. You can see EIP 1559, fee market change for ETH 1.0 chain, EIP 3554, difficulty bomb delay to December 2021, EIP 3529, reduction in refunds, and a couple of others as well. But the important things is that we have ETH 2.0, which is, I don't know if you guys got this notification the other day, but just the other day on my Coinbase account, I got a notification saying that I was eligible to stake my ETH to ETH 2.0. I would get like 5% APR. After that, I wouldn't be able to buy or sell it. And that's what staking essentially means. You're locking up your money in ETH 2.0 for the time being while it's transferring over, while the entire ecosystem is going from ETH to ETH 2.0. Let me know if you got that notification, because I got it the other day. I did transfer some over because I'm not selling Ethereum anytime soon. I'm bullish on it. I have no other use for the money, so I'm going to keep it for a while. And so that's one thing that I got notified about. But in addition to ETH 2.0, which is going to change it from proof of work to proof of stake, which is a big thing. The other thing going on with Ethereum is right now we are seeing that EIP 1559 is going to make it much more energy efficient, and it's also going to start something with the supply squeeze, because right now one major concern from a lot of institutions, from a lot of Bitcoin bulls, is that Ethereum has no supply cap. It has no supply cap, unlike Bitcoin, which is limited to 21 million Bitcoin. That's all there will ever be. But right now with the London hard fork and the EIP 1559 upgrade, we're going to start to see that they're going to burn a portion of the fee collected from Ethereum users, thus introducing a mechanism to put active ETH tokens out of supply for the first time ever since its launch. So this is something very important, because we're going to see scarcity introduced into Ethereum. We're going to see it become more energy efficient. We're going to see it start to prepare to move over to proof of stake as we get ETH 2.0 rolled out. And so all these upgrades, a lot of these are going to be taking place within the next month or so. Not proof of work to proof of stake, because that's ETH 2.0, but a lot of these EIP upgrades from the London hard fork are going to be taking place, and this is going to be very exciting. You can see it says EIP 1559 will cap Ethereum's gas fees while moderating the volatility of the network's transaction fees. So it addresses a lot of the issues. Energy efficiency in some aspects, it addresses the gas fees, and it prepares it to move from proof of work to proof of stake. Big news though, big news. So that's what's going on with Ethereum. But while we were just filming this, in the middle of our stream, we've officially broken $36,000 per coin. Very exciting. We are seeing it push upwards, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves just yet for Bitcoin, because we are still, this is the first candlestick breaking above the 100-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. So we can't get too ahead of ourselves yet, but this is exactly what we want to see for a crypto market bull run to start forming again. And this could be our signal that we are going to reach new all-time highs very, very soon. My opinion, I think the biggest thing that's going to push Bitcoin's price up higher. Yes, the technicals with us breaking this 100-day moving average are very important for retail investors, but I think the biggest thing this year is going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF approved by the SEC. I think once we get a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF approved by the SEC, that's going to be when we start to see major institutional dollars get involved into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, and that's going to be when we start to see, go from a $1.3 trillion market cap to a $3 or $4 trillion market cap, because $1.3 trillion, you got to think of it. That's the market cap of the entire crypto world. It's like 1.36. That's the entire market cap. That's the market cap of the entire crypto world. But there are companies that have higher market caps than that, like Apple and Amazon, and Bitcoin and blockchain in general are much, much bigger ideas than any company. So it's just a matter of time before we start to see the entire crypto world see a market cap of $5, $6, $7 trillion. And I think the big thing to look out for in 2021 is going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs approved, because that's going to be when we start to see institutions getting involved. Yes, we spoke about earlier how Morgan Stanley just purchased 28,000 shares of GBTC, but you got to remember that's not so much money. That's only $1.3 million. Not a lot for a major multi-billion-dollar bank. but it's a start. It's definitely a start, but I think the big thing that's going to push the price up higher, even though we just saw it break 36,000, is going to be with institutions and ETFs getting approved. Speaking of ETFs, though, Ark Invest and Cathie Wood just filed for a brand new Ark Invest Bitcoin ETF. They just got added to the list of about a dozen other companies that are trying to file and get approval of the first Bitcoin ETF in the US. Right now, we see about a dozen of these, and we see like the Valkyrie Bitcoin ETF, the VanEck Bitcoin ETF, the Wisdom Tree Bitcoin ETF. We've seen all these Bitcoin ETFs filed for approval, but none of them have been approved yet. They all keep getting delayed, and their applications are extended by 45 days by the SEC. The SEC delayed the decision for the Wisdom Tree Bitcoin ETF on June 2nd. They delayed the decision for the VanEck Bitcoin ETF on April 28th. They delayed the decision for the Valkyrie Bitcoin ETF on June 23rd. They keep delaying decisions, and they say the reason they're doing this is for a couple of main reasons. They say the first is because there's too much volatility in the crypto world. They want to protect investors. Really, in my opinion, that's just them saying we can't control it, we're scared of it, and since we can't control the market, well, we don't know if we want to approve it. But, let me know what you think about that. The other thing going on with the reason why they're not approving a Bitcoin or crypto ETF yet is because they say that with the crypto world right now, that Bitcoin and a lot of cryptos promote illegal activities. They said for that reason, they don't know if they want to associate themselves with it. There's no way to, regulate that. So they are not approving it yet. But you got to remember, there's illegal activities done with every currency, whether you're talking about the US dollar, whether you're talking about any currency in the world, there are illegal activities done with it. Whether it's just done strictly with cash or you're talking about Bitcoin, there are always illegal activities no matter what currency you're talking about, but they say it promotes illegal activities. And the other reason why they are saying this is because right now, like I said, it's just too volatile and they are not ready they want to make sure investors are protected. Either way, though, I think this decision will change very soon, like I said earlier, because there's so much retail investor demand for a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. There's a lot of institutional demand as well, and we already see that the US is behind other countries. For example, Canada approved their first Bitcoin ETF back on February 20th of 2021. They've approved their first Bitcoin ETF for a while. We saw them already approve about 4 Ethereum ETFs in a single day. And all of these things are making the US get behind other countries. Even Latin America, a country like Brazil, approved their first ever Bitcoin ETF just 3 days ago. And their first Bitcoin ETF is already trading. So we see that in North America, we have Canada. South America, we have Brazil. We already see that multiple countries around the world are approving Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. We've seen Dubai. We've seen now Canada, Brazil, countries in Europe. And because of this, the US is getting behind. We know they're not going to want to be behind other countries too long because it's not good economically if people are wanting to put money on other stock exchanges, especially institutions. So I think we'll definitely see it get approved very soon. And the stock ticker symbol for the Ark Invest one is going to be ARKB. This is going to be their first ever Bitcoin ETF. And once we see a Bitcoin ETF approved, whether it's the Ark Invest one, whether it's the Valkyrie one, whether it's the VanEck Bitcoin ETF, it doesn't matter, because once we see one approved, it's going to be like the floodgates are open. All of them are going to get approved very quickly. We're going to start to see institutions get involved more with Bitcoin very soon. And the thing with a Bitcoin ETF is that it's going to own the underlying Bitcoin. So it's going to actually own underlying Bitcoin, which means as institutions pour more money into it, we're going to see a lot of Bitcoin being bought by these funds. And according to their S1 filing from Ark Invest, they said that the market value of Bitcoin is not related to any specific company, government, or asset. The valuation of Bitcoin depends on future expectations for the value of the entire Bitcoin network. They said that the number of Bitcoin transactions and the overall usage of an asset. This means that a significant amount of the value of Bitcoin is speculative, which could lead to increased volatility. Investors could experience significant gains or losses in the trust holding depending on the valuation of Bitcoin. Again, they also spoke about how, like, one of the major issues, volatility concerns. But you got to remember, like I've said, and like I'm going to continue to say, there is such a small portion of retail investors, which is 6% of retail investors invest in Bitcoin, and such a small percent of institutions that have exposure to Bitcoin. Once we see them actually start to invest, it's game over. We're going to see Bitcoin's price truly start to take off. And right now, like I've said, we are at that key, we're crossing that key line right now of the 100-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. I hate when it goes away. Whenever I just move away from the page for a second, but I want to show you guys that again. Moving average, 100-day chart. If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Let's see if we can get this up to 500 likes. Everyone's been asking about my dog Tugboat, where he's been at. Well, you know what? He'll come on the screen if we get it to 100 likes. Here we go. So you can see on the 4-hour chart, we are passing above this. But like I said, Ark Invest, their Bitcoin ETF, not approved yet. But once we see any Bitcoin ETF approved, we're going to see all of them start to get approved. And I think it's a matter of time. I think we should see it within, if not this summer, in the summer of 2021. And if not in the second half of 2021, I think we should see it happen at least sometime by end of 2021, early 2022. And that's going to be when we really start to see Bitcoin start to take off. Thank you, Stan. What's up, Andrew? Andreas, what's up? Trent, thank you. We are going to continue, and if you are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Helps me get these out to more people. I did a video at 9 a.m. We started the stream at 9 a.m. Eastern time, so it's a little bit off of our normal time. So for that reason, YouTube didn't send out any notifications, but I appreciate all you guys joining us this morning. Bitcoin is at a key level right now. We are seeing great all across the board. Bitcoin up 5%, Ethereum up nearly 10%, Cardano up significantly as well. We are crossing a key resistance line for Bitcoin, Ethereum, the entire crypto market. You can see Ethereum, 100-day moving average, 4-hour chart. We are passing it right now. Every single coin is doing basically the same thing, and you could see we've had a couple times in the past where we have tried to break above it. But we have not had a sustained break above this 100-day moving average ever since we had a massive rally back in April, at least for Ethereum. So if we can have a sustained break above this 100-day moving average, that is a sure sign that we are going to see a bull run and see new highs reached. Obviously, we have a bit of a resistance again for Ethereum at 2,800, and same for Bitcoin. We have a bit of a resistance at 40,000, but either way, things are looking really, really good right now in terms of the technicals, in terms of the charts, and we're starting to finally see, like we said earlier, institutions get involved. Morgan Stanley bought 28,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We see Cathie Wood filed for a Bitcoin ETF. Things are looking good on that end. Ethereum has a lot of major upgrades with the London hard fork, which is coming out soon. Going to have major upgrades for gas fees, major upgrades for efficiency, and it's something that I think could push a lot of institutions in this bull run to look towards Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, because a lot of them are still concerned about all of the energy consumption and all of those issues with Bitcoin. Ethereum, though, when we start to see these upgrades take place, I think we could see in this next bull run, we could see institutions get more involved in Ethereum than they have before. But okay, next topic I want to go over is something going on. Where is it? What is going on with, okay, right, Binance. Big story with Binance, and I want to talk about Cardano, and then we're going to wrap it up with one more thing. Well, it'll be like a bonus story. But the first thing is going to be with Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange by volume. They have the most volume out of any crypto exchange. They get banned by UK regulators and now officially on their site. So from June 30th, the company has to put this notice on their website, which says Binance Markets Limited is not permitted to undertake any regulated activity in the UK due to the imposition of requirements by the FCA, which is the, what does that stand for again? Financial Conduct Authority. Binance Markets Limited is not currently permitted to undertake any regulated activities without the prior consent of the FCA. No other entity in the Binance Group holds any form of UK authorization, registration, or license to conduct regulated activity in the UK. So basically what they're saying is, look, Binance can't conduct any sort of activity, even though they already offer people in the UK crypto trading through their website. They must add this notice in place, and this is pretty significant. We have seen Binance run into a couple of issues lately. Not only in the UK, we saw TSB Bank, which is a bank in the UK, ban Bitcoin, ban sending money to Binance altogether. You can see right here, I'm pulling it up. TSB Bank plans to ban cryptocurrency purchases due to increasing fraud numbers. And in their report, this is a bank in UK, they specifically called out Binance. They said that there are too many fraudulent activities that take place on Binance, and it's like a hub for risk and spam, and for that reason they are not going to be allowing their customers to send money to the exchange. They specifically called out Binance and Kraken. So this is just something important to keep in mind, because this is not the first time we are seeing issues with Binance. We have seen Ontario ban Binance altogether. We saw that now the UK is doing it. Is it going to be a problem for Binance and potentially Binance Coin? I don't think it'll have too many impacts on it, but it's something to just keep on the back of our minds right now, because Ontario specifically called out Binance the other day. You can see Ontario crackdown on crypto exchanges continues with Binance leaving the province. We see now the UK has done the same thing. The UK specifically banned Binance. So, and TSB Bank, which is a bank in the UK, they didn't let people send funds to Binance. So just all across the board, it seems like Binance is becoming a little bit of an issue for many countries, and they're calling out Binance. Is it because it's the biggest platform? Potentially. I mean, that's a possibility that they are the biggest platform by trading volume. So if a country doesn't want Binance or crypto, if a country doesn't want crypto trading, they could just be calling out Binance. Or is the other issue that maybe Binance isn't the most secure? I've seen a lot of people do have some issues sometimes with wallet addresses on Binance. I've heard of that, about that before. Like, Coinbase is definitely a lot easier, a lot more simple for just regular everyday people. So it could just be that. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that all of these countries that are either banning Binance, or banks that are not allowing you to send money to Binance, do you think they're just calling out Binance because it's the largest in terms of trading volume? Or do you think they're calling out Binance because it maybe isn't the safest and most secure? Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, right now, Coinbase isn't, it's a good platform. It isn't the best because Coinbase does have high fees. Like I see you guys talking about, like Trent. Yes, they do have high fees, and I understand that. But eventually, over time, all of these fees for Coinbase are going to get reduced. We're going to see a lot of competition in the entire crypto world. Like right now, for example, Robinhood. People love Robinhood. People hate Robinhood. But one thing Robinhood does well is they have zero commission trading. Whether we're talking about crypto, whether we're talking about stocks, they have zero commission trading, and because of that, it's going to brew competition, because if people can buy the same crypto on Robinhood and pay 0% commission fees, well then why would they buy it on Coinbase? Yes, it's easier, but once Robinhood has the crypto wallet, which they are currently working on, we'll see a lot of people look towards Robinhood to buy crypto. So just keep that in mind, because over time we will see Coinbase have no fees. It's just a matter of time. Like, as more players get involved, there's more competition. They're going to have to, because people are just going to move elsewhere. Same with Robinhood. That's what happened with stocks. Robinhood came in with zero commission trading. As soon as they did that, all the other exchanges, all the other brokerages came out and said, okay, well, we got to have zero commission trading. Otherwise, we're going to run into issues. So we will see that happen over time. But let me know what your thoughts are on Binance. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, one thing I want to go over. We did talk about Ark Invest and how they have their Bitcoin ETF submitted for approval by the SEC. One thing I want to talk about with them, though, is specifically how they are currently playing crypto and investing in Bitcoin and crypto right now, because institutions still can be involved in crypto even without Bitcoin ETFs. So what they are doing right now, this is important to look at, because they did make some major moves the other day. Cathie Wood and Ark Invest the other day, they have been purchasing more and more Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and Coinbase. Because the thing is, whenever you talk about Coinbase, whenever you talk about people don't always know what it is at first. Like, how do you describe Coinbase to someone who doesn't know what it is? Should you invest in it? Should you not invest in it? The way that I always describe Coinbase to anyone who is curious about it, like whether they should invest in the stock or not, is you just think of the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. They're a collection of, let's say the NASDAQ, a collection of tech stocks. Coinbase is the same thing. It's a collection of cryptocurrencies that you can invest in. That's what the NASDAQ is. It's a place, it's an exchange where you can buy and sell basically tech stocks. Coinbase is an exchange, a platform where you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies. So if you're trying to get exposure to the crypto world, looking at the stock market, I just want to talk about this because you shouldn't, like, if you want to get exposure to the crypto world and just get exposure to everything, I would always invest in Coinbase, just because investing in Coinbase is betting on the, not just one crypto, but it's betting on the entire crypto world. It's like saying that you're investing in the NASDAQ, the company which owns the NASDAQ. So I like to invest in Coinbase, but either way, the important thing is how is Ark Invest? They recently filed for their Bitcoin ETF, but how are they currently playing crypto? And what they're doing right now is they have been buying up a lot of Coinbase and a lot of GBTC. So you can see Coinbase. This is a platform called Lucid Tracking, which shows you exactly what stocks, what funds Ark Invest is buying. You could look at any one of their funds. You could go to ARKK, ARKW, ARKF. It doesn't matter. You can look at all of them. But right here, you can see that this is for Coinbase, and Ark Invest has been purchasing a lot of Coinbase recently. Last week, the week of June 25th, they purchased $60 million worth of Coinbase in their ARKK fund. They purchased $2 million in this fund. All across the board right now, they own over $1 billion worth of Coinbase, and you could see last week when we saw it was red, those were the days that they were adding significantly. They added $48 million of Coinbase on the day the market crashed, the crypto market crashed. They added $7 million a day that whole entire last week while the market was consolidating. In addition to this, we are seeing with GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Like I spoke about earlier, Morgan Stanley bought 28,000 shares of it, but Ark Invest has been buying a lot of it recently. Currently, they own over $250 million of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And again, the day that the market crashed on June 22nd, the crypto market crashed, they bought $30 million worth of GBTC. So either way, what we are seeing is that institutions are continuing to get more and more involved with Bitcoin. The way that Kathy Wood and Ark Invest are playing Bitcoin in the crypto market right now is that even though they don't own Bitcoin directly, they don't own Bitcoin directly, they don't own actual Bitcoin coins, they still can play the crypto market by investing in GBTC and investing in Coinbase. So I wanted to go over that really quickly. And last up for our list of this show, we're going to talk a little bit about Cardano and one or two more altcoins. So if you can, please be sure to like the stream. Let's see if we can get this up to 500 likes. If we can, we're going to bring my dog Tugboat on the screen. Everyone's been asking about Tugboat because people usually hear him snoring during the streams and they're like, what's that noise? Is there like a lawnmower, Michael? Like, come on. Get yourself together. I don't want to hear that noise in the background. But the problem is it's my dog. That's how he breathes. And it just is what it is. You know, you can't help it. If your dog has a pushed in face, they're a French bulldog, and people said, oh, well, you shouldn't get those types of dogs because it's bad for breeding. And you know what? I rescued him. I rescued him in Columbus, Georgia. We got to get over it. But if you guys want to see him, his name's Tugboat. We'll bring him on when we get to 500 likes. A little bit off track there. Always like talking about Tugboat. But anyways, Cardano came out the other day, hit a new milestone, surpassing 650,000 staking addresses. That is pretty exciting because what we're seeing right now is that Cardano is making major moves. Right now, the price of Cardano is up significantly this morning. We're seeing all the prices all across the board, but Cardano is up 36% over the last 7 days, up 7% this morning. I added about over the last week, I had about $15,000 into Cardano. I added 5,000 on the day it crashed. I added 5,000 another day. I added 5,000 on 3 different days. A lot of it was probably on an average price of like $1 and between $1 and $1.20 per coin. So it's up significantly since then. And the thing with Cardano right now, just like the rest of the market, while we do have a lot of stories that are positive news coming out from it, everyone always likes when we look at the charts. So when we look at the charts right now, it is mimicking the exact same movements as the entire crypto world. So when we look at the 100-day moving average, like we are looking with all of the other coins right now, when we're looking at the 100-day moving average, we can see that we are, if it lets me change this, we are seeing that we are crossing it as we speak, just like we are doing with all of the other coins. Let's get rid of this, get rid of that. Here we go. So right now with Cardano, we are looking to pass the 100-day moving average on the 4-hour chart, just like all of the other coins. You can see we've officially passed it. We have 1 or 2 candlesticks above it, but this is a sure sign that we could be seeing a massive breakout. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Like I showed you guys on this chart, we are seeing that the 100-day moving average for Bitcoin is the same exact thing, and that's what a lot of people like to look at if they're talking about the market. They like to look at Bitcoin, but either way, whether we're talking about Bitcoin, whether we're talking about Cardano, you can see the prices and the charts look nearly identical. Every single crypto's chart right now is crossing the 100-day moving average on the 4-hour chart as we speak. This is Cardano right here. You can see we're passing it right here. Bitcoin, same thing. Bitcoin passing it, and we are seeing a rally pushing upwards even more. We are at $36,420. We are moving massively for Bitcoin. But the big news with Cardano, other than the charts looking really good right now, is what is going on with the 650,000 staking addresses, and also a couple of big announcements with major governments all across the world. So the first thing, with the staking addresses, we have seen a more than 8% increase in the total number of staking addresses for Cardano since the beginning of June. We added over 50,000, now it's about 65,000 staking addresses, which essentially means people are staking their Cardano, betting on it long term, locking up their Cardano. And right now this is important because staked funds total $29 billion, which is about 71% of the total supply. So really, there are a lot of addresses which are staking Bitcoin. But that's not even the most exciting thing. For me, the most exciting thing with Cardano right now is what is going on with Charles Hoskinson, who is their founder, and how he's talking with governments all around the world. We have seen that in the past, he has talked with Ethiopia. He got a major partnership with the Ethiopian Education Council, where they have a deal that allows them to give each student a blockchain-based ID. I'm going to pull that up for you guys. Gives each student a blockchain-based ID. It's for over 5 million Ethiopian students that all have now a Cardano blockchain-based ID, and this is just the start of this. So this is something that is a real-world application where they are implementing it in Ethiopia. People can track their academic performance. But not only are we seeing this with Ethiopia, but right now, what's exciting about Cardano is that they are in talks currently with El Salvador. Hoskinson revealed details the other day about potentially getting Cardano integrated into El Salvador, because El Salvador, we know they're pro-Bitcoin. They made Bitcoin legal tender. But now he's talking about actually digitizing their entire economy and making Cardano one of the main platforms, the go-to platform to use. So everyone says, Michael, why would I invest in Cardano instead of Ethereum? What about Cardano is so great? The thing that I like about Cardano, even though it has significantly less number of wallet addresses, there are significantly less people who own Cardano. The thing that I like about them is that Charles Hoskinson, their co-founder, is constantly pushing for new partnerships in countries all around the world. It doesn't matter if they've already just recently had a deal with Ethiopia. He is always looking and reaching out, like actively searching for new partnerships. So this thing with El Salvador could be huge. We know El Salvador is a country which is open to the idea of Bitcoin. So if they can get Cardano integrated into just day-to-day life, into other things going on in El Salvador with digitizing the entire economy and the entire country, well, that would be huge. That would bring millions and millions of more addresses and users onto the Cardano network. This would help it potentially be able to surpass Ethereum in terms of market cap. This is something that would be really, really huge. And so whenever someone says, why do you like Cardano? The reason that I like Cardano is because not only do they have a lot of the same use cases as Ethereum, they are more energy efficient. They're able to process more transactions per second. The one thing that I really like about them is that their co-founder is actively seeking out partnerships. And just like any small business, the one way you're going to succeed is it going to be just, if you're a big company and you have more people, does that necessarily mean you're going to succeed? Yeah, it's very possible. It's a lot easier. Like Ethereum is that big company right now where they have more users, more attention around it than a Cardano. But ultimately, if they're not actively seeking out all these partnerships and trying to take initiative, and we don't see Vitalik Buterin, their co-creator, actively talking with people to try and promote and grow the network, well, then it leaves room for Cardano to catch up. And that's what we're seeing. So like, it's not going to surpass Ethereum anytime soon, not within the next 6 months. But if we keep seeing these new partnerships come out with Cardano in El Salvador, or Cardano in Ethiopia, or Cardano in Tanzania, these are all places where they're actively speaking about partnerships. Well, if we see that happen, that opens the door for them to take over Ethereum in terms of market cap and become the #1 DeFi coin out there. So it's just something to keep in mind with that. But if you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Helps me out a lot. Right now we're at 95 likes. Let's see if we get this up to 500. If we can get up to 500, we'll bring Tugboat out here. Everyone's been asking about him recently, so if we can, we will definitely get him out here. Everyone's been asking a lot about Dogecoin this morning, and I didn't forget about it. Everyone always says, Michael, you forget about Dogecoin. You don't talk about Dogecoin. I get it. A lot of people in my audience do like Dogecoin, so let's talk about it. So first of all, let's pull up the price. Let's look at Dogecoin's price, and then we'll go over a couple of key pieces of news with Dogecoin. So first of all, let's look at this. Here we go. Dogecoin's price right now is sitting at 27 cents per coin. We are up 60.9% for the last 7 days, up 7.65% over the last 24 hours. Right now, we are in the number 6 position at about a almost $36 billion market cap. And the big news that just came out with Dogecoin is that it was Elon Musk's birthday the other day, and someone said that they actually sent Dogecoin to space for Elon Musk's birthday. So it says a YouTuber has sent the Dogecoin high up into the Earth's stratosphere. Is it considered space? Maybe, space is considered 100 kilometers up in the atmosphere, but the exact altitude the balloon was reached was probably around 40 kilometers, so it's not technically space, but you know what we mean. Close enough. Either way, what they said is that they sent it using a weather balloon. They launched a replica token of the Dogecoin token up into the atmosphere for Elon Musk's birthday. It was his birthday the other day. In addition to this, it was Elon Musk's 50th birthday. In addition to this, the other thing that came out the other day with Elon Musk is that Elon Musk actually liked a couple of tweets about Dogecoin. If we pull up his Twitter, we can see that, let's pull up his Twitter. Elon Musk on his Twitter, here we go. Let's pull this up. On his Twitter for likes, he had tweeted out something about making sure everyone promotes and supports the Dogecoin protocol upgrades. And you could also see that the founder and creator of Dogecoin tweeted something that Elon Musk liked. So we can see that there have been a couple of tweets recently that Elon Musk has liked, but the big news was what happened with someone sending a physical Dogecoin not into the moon, not into space, but up high into the Earth's atmosphere, 40 kilometers, which is almost space. But either way, that's what's going on with Dogecoin, and nothing too major is coming out. Just the entire crypto market is looking really good this morning, up 7.69%, up to about a $1.48 trillion market cap. Things are looking pretty good. We are crossing that key level right now, the 100-day moving average and the 100-day moving average and the 4-hour chart. So let me know what you guys think about this right now. If you can, please be sure to like the stream. Who's going to be the 100th like? And also put any comments you have in the chat, and we're going to go over those really quickly. ETC is on a good move up. Yeah, so ETC is going to follow the same exact movements as Ethereum, as the entire crypto market. If we look at the market right now, Ethereum is up 10.5%. It's really leading the way. Like XRP is up 14%, but we are seeing, for the most part, the entire crypto world is doing extremely well. And that's because we are seeing that we are approaching that key level for every single coin, that 100-day moving average, which is a signal that we could be entering a bull market. You can see a couple articles that come out that says, look, Bitcoin gathers upside momentum, faces resistance near 40K, but we are seeing a bit of a breakout right now. See, this is the 100-day moving average and the 4-hour chart. We have broken up even more since then, but right now things are looking pretty good for crypto, the entire market, and not just going on. I think we'll go live again a little bit later around lunchtime because we have a lot to cover, a lot more stories. This was just an earlier live stream today that I wanted to do because yesterday we tried to go live in the evening. We had a bunch of issues, so we came live now. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another crypto Bitcoin news. We might also do a stock market open video tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in, we'll do a live stream at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So see you guys at 12 p.m. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in a bit.